Hello, I'm Helen and I'm the local home economist for BSH, and I'm here in this amazing studio of KF Kitchens here in Plymouth. And I'm going to show you using the Neff ovens behind me with the variosteam to cook a beautiful leg of lamb and roast potatoes with the addition of steam. What I've done here is I've just crushed rosemary, garlic with some seasoning and some oil, and I put it over the lamb, and I've left it for about an hour and a half just to marinate that lamb there. Now the recipe says to put this in first, but the recipe that is on the website is a slightly larger bit of lamb, so I'm actually going to put this together with the potatoes to begin with. Now the beauty of this is how many just spend the time mucking up a pan and parboiling potatoes when it's a simple way, when you've got added steam, just to put the potatoes in raw. So what I do is I use actually a plastic bag. So they're just potatoes which I've just kept in water. I've dried them. I'm just going to add some seasoning. Give that a little bit of toss to get the seasoning around the potatoes, olive oil over the top. You can obviously do this in a bowl, but I just find it's a lot easier, and it coats them really well in the plastic bag. Now the meat probe has got 3 marks on the probe there, and what it will do is always read the lowest one. So if you've got a thinner piece of meat, it will still read the lowest temperature that you've got on the probe. Put this into the thickest part of the meat. So with this we're going to be using Circotherm, but we are going to be using the added steam, the variosteam, and we can see that the appliance has got this facility, so it's got like a little envelope there on the fascia panel. So all I need to do is press that little envelope, just lift the sides up, and we can see that we have a cartridge inside which we just fill with water. Place the lamb in the oven, and in the side here there's a little socket to be able to put the probe in. So we've got it on Circotherm. I then want the temperature at 170, and I'm just going to add the meat probe. So by putting that into the socket there, it will just come up, meat thermometer plugged in, and then we can set the core temperature that we're wanting the meat at. So this could be, and I'll just double check, between 1675, depending on how you'd want your lamb. So I'm just going to do it middle for diddle and set that at 69. Oops, which goes on to 70. We then want to add steam. So we can see this little steam ones there, so we press that, so we can then add steam. So what I want to do is actually add high added steam. So all I need to do now is start. Once we switch it off, it will take any moisture back into the cassette. We do need to empty that cassette after each use, and then you just give it a wipe over, and then just popping onto the drying mode. And I just now leave that to medium added steam for the rest of the duration. So we're going to leave this to cook, and we'll come back to it in a moment. As you can hear, this means now that the core temperature's reached the 69 that I actually set it at. So obviously I've had steam in this, so when you've had with steam, just release the door and then open it fully. This just releases the steam up rather than just into your face. And this is without having to parboil the potatoes, and you can see how crispy they are. So I'm just going to have the warming drawer, which I've had on just warming the plate. So I'm just going to take a nice warm plate out of the warming drawer. And I just want to again remove the thermometer. These don't go in the dishwasher, you just need to wipe them. I'll then just wash this, and I just like to put a bit of Detox over it to make sure it's nice and clean. Carefully just take the grid off, pour the juices into the pan, ready to make the gravy. So depending on the potatoes, the size and the variety, some brown quicker than others, and so what you can do while that meat is resting is just pop them back into the oven. These are actually fairly crispy, but we can just crisp them up that little bit more. So this is having the fan on and the grill coming on, and we can just press that, and then that will just crisp them up even more, and just keeping them nice and hot while that meat is resting. Right, well, I've just let the lamb rest now. I covered it with foil and just allowed it to stand for a while, and so I'm just going to remove that. It's a beautiful joint there, and if you remember, it's got this beautiful rosemary, garlic and olive oil glaze to it. And then the potatoes, we just finish them off in the oven, keeping them warm. Rosemary, and a bit of parsley on the side there. For such an amazing, I might even put that on just to show that you've got your garlic there in with the glaze.